Welcome to a Management Plus training webinar. My name is Kevin Sloan. I'm a certified electronic health record specialist and certified ophthalmic technician. Management Plus is an industry leader in EHR, and we want to provide you with the documentation tools and the skills to use these tools proficiently. Today's training webinar is titled Special Testing. Let's get started. As you can see on the screen in front of you, I have our favorite test and demo patient, Mr. Bob Hope, on the screen, and we are looking at the special testing form as indicated here in the form tree on the left. This particular special testing form has specific controls set up for OCT, visual field, gonioscopy, ultrasound, central cornea thickness or pachymetry, Schirmer's, fundus photos, B-scan, specular microscopy, or otherwise known as an endothelial cell count, topography, and wave scan. Most of these have a similar format and style. As you can see, there are controls in here to document the type of scan, the eye of choice, the diagnoses, and so forth. Indication, interpretation, and plan. RNFL thickness, a synopsis grid of past RNFL thickness. Interface buttons here. This one actually has two. You can have as many as you need, or as few as you need, or none at all. And then we have some macros set up for you here. So if your patient is being evaluated for dry ARMD in the right eye, clicking that will fill in these controls with predefined macros, particular values. You can overwrite these at any time by clicking this. Exiting that control will put those values into this. You'll want to indicate the type of scan. That's going to trigger your CPT code onto the charge slip and then naturally indicate which eye. If we're doing the left eye for an epiretinal membrane, you can see that this macro fills in these controls with a specific value. These are copy buttons that copy from the left to the right hand side of the screen. Notes are placed here. You can always free text into this if you need to. Pick from the list. If you need to, you can actually do more than one if you want. Let's see, reevaluate OD, OS, and OD. Okay. And if we want to put in there a number, you certainly can. Visual field, quite similar to that. The macros are on the bottom. Make sure you fill in the type of test and the eye and all the pertinent information. Generally, the technician will fill in the type of test, the eye, and possibly the diagnoses. The doctor will do all of the rest. You should do this each and every time you do a special test. With gonioscopy, a little different setup. You can click normal, fills in all of these values. The actual CPT code is triggered by this. If you do not want to charge for the gonioscopy, then uncheck that. You don't have to use a normal button. You can just select the items that you need to on each one of those if you want to. Ultrasound, place for manual Ks, auto Ks, the type of scan. If you're going to do a repeat scan or a scan of another type, click this button. It will add on another set of controls, so you could do a direct ultrasound here and then immersion there, or vice versa. If values are entered into the refractive section for the patient, those values will automatically be displayed here. Pachymetry, it has been done previously for this patient. These controls are tricked out to act as if they're static. Even though this is a dynamic form, these are going to come forward. If you want to repeat this or decide you want to charge for this pachymetry, you can click this checkbox. Otherwise, leave it blank. Schirmer's is documented here. Tear breakup time. There are no special subroutines or codes set up to trigger a charge for this. Most of the time, this is not set up to be charged for. If you'd like that, your EHR specialist be happy to take care of that for you. Fundus photos, much like the OCT and visual field controls, series of macros, interface button, type of photos. B-scan, same way, very similar format. Specular microscopy, or otherwise, as I mentioned, endothelial cell count, set up the same way, a couple of macros. Topography, same thing here. This one actually has a checkbox if you want to charge for it. Most of all of these others that are set up to be charged are either set up to be triggered based on the eye or the type of scan, like the type of photo, the type of OCT, the type of visual field. Just be sure you fill out all of the controls. You'll have no problem triggering charge codes onto the charge slip. Okay. And last but not least is WaveScan. Very straightforward, very easy to document and review data for the special testing. If you are using an interface button, whenever it's configured by you or support, right-click, choose Interface, and Configure. If you have the attachment type set as one of your attachment types on the attachment filter, whenever you bring in those files, it will display a number adjacent to this label here on the left, and it will display the number to be a total number of files that you have just brought into this patient's record. So if there are 3 or 4 OCT files, you'll see that number displayed. By default, this is blank. Let's take a look at this other one. So you can see the attachment type by default is blank. So whenever you set up your input pathway, be sure to set up your attachment type filter so that when you do utilize this, it will display the number of files that you have just brought in. Same way with visual field. Each one of these, right click, interface, and then configure. You want the attachment type to be exactly as it's spelled there. You cannot put VF here and expect it to go into the visual field filter. It has to be spelled exactly with the same case and syntax. And then you'll be able to get those image files displayed there. Any PDFs, the total number of those files will display. This concludes our webinar. Thank you for your attention. Have a great day.